Leading healthy discussions with students isn't always easy, but it is very worthwhile because leading healthy discussions actually leads to life change that is sustainable and lasting in students' lives. Now, the first thing you'll want to do to lead a healthy discussion is to prepare for Sunday before Sunday, or Wednesday before Wednesday, or really just group before group. And that means knowing what topic is going to be discussed, because the more familiar you are with the topic that's being discussed, the better your discussion will be during group. And the other thing that you'll want to know before Sunday is, do you have discussion questions? If your church does not provide those, come up with some on your own. Figure out what your students will want to talk about and ultimately get to an application point with them. That's what's most important. The second thing to know when leading healthy discussions with students is that consistency builds trust and fosters vulnerability. I'll say that again. Consistency builds trust and fosters vulnerability. You'll want to build trust with your students by knowing them really well. Duh, right? But what I'm really saying is that to lead a healthy discussion really is about knowing them and knowing the topic and knowing how the two will mesh. If you have a topic like grief and you know some of your students have dealt with the loss of a grandparent or the divorce of their parents, they're going to take that differently than students who haven't. And last but not least, you want to shut down gossiping or bullying to build trust in your group. Now, sometimes that's hard depending on the age of the students that you're dealing with, or even between guys and girls. But one of the most effective things that we've found to help shut down gossip and bullying is actually a mutual agreed upon group agreement. Now, you probably do this with your adult group already, but with students, we really want them to be involved in the process of deciding what their small group is going to look like. That's everything from making sure that there's no gossip or bullying, to making sure what is shared in group stays in group, to everyone wanting to be included in the group. But if your students are involved in creating the group agreement, it's more likely that they're going to stick to it, and that's going to build trust within your group. So as you build trust in your group, you're also going to foster vulnerability. And as you foster vulnerability, it's really important that you listen really well to your students. We tell our leaders here that their first group meeting, they should think about it like 50-50 conversation. They should talk 50% of the time and let their students talk the other 50% of the time. But your last group meeting, your students should talk about 90% and you should only talk about 10%. It means you're listening really well. As you know, if you have led students, sharing can be a little bit complicated. Sharing about your life and your past can be a little bit more complicated because they're more impressionable. And so we tell our leaders here that to foster great vulnerability, you do want to share appropriately with your group. And that means thinking about their age and thinking about their stage of life. So for middle school, we actually tell our leaders, don't share anything that wouldn't be in a G-rated Disney movie. There's not talk of a lot of romance in G-rated movies. There's definitely not talk of abuse or anything like that. But in high school, PG and PG-13 movies do start to cover more serious topics, and that's okay. But just share appropriately. Don't overshare to foster vulnerability in your group. Students respond really well when you tell them how much you care about them. When you tell them that they are brave, when you tell them that they are strong, when you tell them that you love them a lot, you're going to foster more vulnerability in your group. And ultimately, they're going to feel safer with you when they know that you're for them. So now that you've prepared for Sunday and that your consistency has started to build trust and foster vulnerability within your group, you'll start to see that trust and vulnerability ultimately lead to life change. And that's what we really want for students anyway, isn't it? If you're leading students, I'm sure it's not just for the fun of it. You want to see life change. You want to see them have a faith that can withstand the trials of college and young adulthood. You want to see them have a faith that endures through their marriage and through them being grandparents. You want to see them experience life change and have a faith that is strong. And that all starts with leading healthy discussions that build trust and foster vulnerability.